Enterprise, this is the USS Coltrane. We have entered system J361 after picking up the faint magnetic resonance signatures indicated by the data retrieved from the Borg Nexus. Sensors have identified what appears to be a Borg detection array positioned at the edge of a ringed planetary system. The magnetic resonance signatures are growing markedly stronger. This may be the staging grounds we've been looking for. We'll continue our reconnaissance while we wait for your arrival. One more thing, Enterprise. Despite the emplacements, we've yet to detect the presence of any Borg ships.
Understood, Coltrane. The Enterprise is putting in a course for J361, along with our nearest support vessels. Stay out of the range of Borg detection. If this is where the Borg have been massing, we don't want to alert them to our presence until more Federation reinforcements arrive.
Well, this is what we're here for, so let's get it done. We have a fairly interesting start to this mission. We don't have very many ships at our disposal, and we're on a pretty small map overall, so this is not going to be a long mission like the old, certainly not like the last mission was. I'm going to head right across to the top left of the map here. That's because I would rather start in this position than at the top right.
Engaged.
Fire when ready.
The main reason being that the Federation reinforcements that are going to come are going to be coming from this side of the map. So I don't know, it's not a big deal really. You could go either way on it, but whenever I play the mission I tend to start from this side of the map. I think there's slightly more resources on this side of the map as well, so it's just a slightly better starting point. Unfortunately, my ships are getting the crap beaten out of them here. Taking on an energy turret might not have been the best idea. Sorry, a torpedo turret might not have been the best idea. But just trying to reduce Borg visibility in this area as much as possible. Which hasn't gone too badly really. Got rid of the sensor turrets and the energy torpedo.
Enemy engaged.
Sadly there's another energy torpedo over here and I don't have the firepower to take it down, and I'm left with pretty much my two sovereigns. So pretty inauspicious start to the mission overall. It's not a brilliant beginning, but if we just wait long enough, we only get bothered by a couple of Borg scout ships, nothing huge, and yep, big old fleet arriving. Awesome.
Captain, Federation reinforcements have arrived, including 3 Nebula-class vessels armed with shield disruptors. Starfleet orders are for us to lead a full assault on the Borg staging grounds.
They don't ask for much, really, do they?
Prepare the docking bays.
Anyway, we've been given special weapons ships, so it seems a little bit rude not to use them.
A prudent course of action.
First things first though, we want to get star bases and general resource stuff down.
Begin a sensor scan.
And let's let our Venture class ships key us into what's going on in this area.
Station construction.
Not too sure they'll get very far, but they might give us a little bit of a better idea of where we stand. Well, there you go, another dilithium moon available for us.
Commencing. Enemy engaged.
Yeah, well that lasted long, didn't it? But fortunately it does clue us into the location of a few dilithium moons, so we're not going to be hurting for resources in this mission. It's one of the reasons why I like starting at this area of the map.
Ready and able.
Half a dozen top tier ships here, and
Be ready for anything.
since the nebulas are armed with shield disruptors, they're going to be pretty useful.
Engines to full.
I make a little bit of a mistake in this level with the Nebula class ships. If you're going to put them on high special weapon usage, give them only one special weapon. Because
to battle stations.
if you do that, if you don't do that and you give them all their special weapons, the computer will just burn their special weapons power on things that it really doesn't need to use, and I find that out to my cost later in the mission. Also, here's the Aegean class ship. it has the shield enhancer, which regenerates all shields of targets nearby. So I'm going to use those as well.
Sections report.
I'd probably overdo it, but I'm not really too fussed about it, and I kind of just want to show off what the Aegean can do. I'm obviously going to build a lot of Sovereign class ships as well, because they're the backbone of any fleet that you're going to use to take on the Borg. But
All sections report.
I think for the most part I'm just going to use this level to show off a few more of the more exotic ships that I might not use as much. Power up the starbase.
Report to station.
And let's get the dilithium refinery built.
All work crews report to station.
Well, don't just stand there, get a shipyard built.
Steady as she goes.
Prepare the docking bays. Confirmed, Starfleet.
Let's go, go, go. Don't want to be messing around waiting too much.
Awaiting orders. Ship
Let's
at
add the
full
Nebula
readiness.
class ships to this
All power
fleet.
to
I do
engines.
like the I like the look of the Nebula class ship ever
at
since
full
I saw
readiness.
it in first saw it in The Next Generation. I believe it was first introduced in the episode The Wounded, where it a Nebula class ship essentially pulverized
Standing
half
by.
a dozen Cardassian ships.
Be ready for anything.
Unfortunately, it's been
Enemy
reduced to the
engaged.
role of pretty much a
Station
science
is under
cruiser now,
attack.
whereas I think when it was first introduced it was seen as a kind of Galaxy class
Station
light. It was
complete.
more advanced than a, say, an Excelsior class ship, but it was cheaper
All
to
work
produce
crews
than a
report to
Galaxy
station.
class ship was, because Galaxy class ships were
That is a
seen as
logical
so
request.
overpowering and
All
so
work crews report to
monolithic as far as the Federation were concerned that there
Starship
was
construction
really no need to construct more than half a dozen of them. Speaking of more than half a dozen of them, see, this I don't understand.
Starship.
There's a hell of a lot of Borg cubes here, but they're not returning fire. For some reason they're just waltzing up this end of the map, and I have no idea what their problem
Starship
is.
complete.
I suppose I may find this out later, but they might just be heading.
Enemy engaged.
They might just end up heading into out of the sector, and we're just
Be ready for
intercepting them
anything.
and blowing them sky high because we can. Either way, this could be saving
ready
a
for
system from a
anything.
simulation, so that's okay. Uh-oh, tactical cube.
Ship at full readiness.
Of
Be
course,
ready
the
for
Nebula's
anything.
shield disruptor weapon works pretty well against these guys, because
Ship
if you
at
can
full
drop the
readiness.
shield on a cube or something like that, you're going to have a
All
distinct
sections report.
advantage.
Lay in a new course.
The hardest
Make
part,
it so.
certainly about facing a tactical
Go to
cube
yellow
for
alert.
the most part, is getting through its
Ship at
shields.
full readiness.
So if you can remove that from the equation, you're already
Ship
9/10
at
of the
full
way
readiness.
there. As you can see, it has used its
Be
shield
ready for
disruptor
anything.
because the energy is down, so not a bad job overall.
Aye, sir.
Okay, dilithium refinery up and running.
Decommission commencing.
Oh yeah, I've got some steam runner, and I believe I had some Iwo Jima class ships. I don't know where they are at the moment. Oh, there they are. Yeah, they can be
Decommission commencing.
sent into honourable
Ship at
retirement
full
already.
readiness.
I don't need them, and I'd much rather have the resources.
Ship at full readiness.
Extra Aegean class starship,
Research
nice.
commencing.
Don't know why I'm researching the chain reaction pulsar. That's a bit of a waste. I don't intend to build
Proceed.
Akira class ships at all.
A prudent course of action.
So, bit of a waste of metal going on there, but I think it's just force of habit is one of the first things that I researched. It took me a long time, actually, to stop researching tachyon detection
Enemy
grid out,
engaged.
just out of habit. But,
Be ready for anything.
obviously, because we're up
All
against the
work crews
Borg,
report to
tachyon
station.
detection grid's pretty much worthless. I'm intrigued as to why the Borg are sending a colony ship over here. There's no planets to colonise. I don't get what they're up to here.
Prepare the docking bays.
Either way, going to expand down here to this secondary
Confirmed, Starfleet.
dilithium moon.
Station construction commencing.
Oh, the Borg have got fed up with me already. And these ones are taking pot shots at me.
Station is under attack.
But fortunately, starbases are the way forward. Problem being, you can't see if even if the Nebula class ship does fire off its shield disruptor, you can't. It's very difficult to see because it looks like a brightly coloured torpedo. So it's a little bit difficult to see. It looks like I've lost a Nebula class ship.
Anything.
So I may build one or two back during the mission, depending on how heftily I want to go into Nebula class vessels.
Station construction commencing.
I've not researched anything from a science station in this entire campaign yet, though, so it seems only fair. And there's the secondary expansion point. I want to take this one first, though, because this is where the Borg are going to... Oh, God almighty, this is a huge battle between the Borg and Species 8472. Why are we getting involved in this? Yeah, it's a lot more difficult when you don't have shields, isn't it?
Station complete. Requesting additional personnel. Station is under attack. Enemy engaged.
Give the word.
Was anyone else just reminded about that scene from Scorpion where 15 Borg cubes fly past Voyager?
Give the word.
Why the hell are we here? It's not like Species 8472 and the Borg are going to be bothered with the Federation, really. I mean, this might be the Borg staging grounds for their attack on the Alpha Quadrant, but if it's under attack by Species 8472, it seems like we're going to get our wish anyway, so... Question becomes, what's the point, really?
Altering course.
Clearing up this area of torpedo turrets just to give myself a little bit more room for manoeuvre, and my original fleet has been decimated.
Bring us there.
I've still got that one repair ship, though, so all is well.
Change heading. Acknowledged.
Right, let's get the secondary dilithium mine up quickly.
Prudent course of action.
Station construction commencing. Starship construction.
And let's get to building some ships. Well, I'm going to need an advanced shipyard first, aren't I? This is hairy to say the least.
Starship.
Well, I've got my science station back, which is good.
That is a logical request.
And let's get the advanced shipyard down.
Station construction commencing.
Probably do the third starbase as well. But
Research
there's the most
commencing.
useful thing on the Nebula class starship, the shield disruptor. You'll also notice the Borg ship only
Research
took one or
commencing.
two shots at my
Requesting
buildings, and they're in the
additional
red as far as personnel goes, so they took a bit of a beating there. What you saw me start researching there was the Aegean class ship
Station
special
complete.
weapon, the shield
All work
regenerator.
crews report to station.
So I'm going to be building a few of those. And here's the third starbase that I promised, just to get some more personnel. And also, because there's 2 Latinum nebulas up here, I do
Station
want to mine those. So all's well that
Starship
all's well that
construction
mines
commencing.
Latinum. The Ferengi would be proud.
Research complete.
All sections report. Mr. Data, set a course for the nearest repair facility.
And yet again, my shipyard's been beaten
Starship
to a pulp
complete.
as well.
Requesting
So
additional
let's get some
personnel.
crew back on that. I don't really want them vulnerable to assimilation if I can possibly avoid it.
Starship complete.
I'm not sure if it has any effect on ship build times, but it's certainly something I want to avoid. Couple of torpedo turrets down there makes things a little bit easier. And
commencing.
yeah, I researched the point defense phaser. I'm not too sure how clever that is. The Sovereigns already have Cobramite reflectors, so there's no real need to shoot down torpedoes. It's only the Nebula class ship that'd defend itself there.
Starship construction commencing.
And one thing you can see, the Aegean class ship is actually tremendously cheap. It's cheaper than an Akira class starship, and it does have a quite useful ability. So I'll hand it to it. I probably overdo it. You should probably only put like 1 or 2 per fleet in, because if they all fire off their special weapon at once, that's not going to really benefit your fleet. Whereas if you've got 1 or 2 and you fire off its special weapon, then it can be a potentially devastating swing in your favour.
Station complete. Requesting additional personnel.
Let's get some personnel there. I want everything crewed up to the max. I don't want any weak link in the chain.
That is a logical request.
And let's get the Vulcan research facility down.
Station construction commencing.
Because as much as I want to show off the special weapon ships, I want Sovereigns. And let's build a few Nebula class starships to replace the ones that we've lost.
Starship complete.
Can't build repair ships yet because we're still waiting.
Station construction commencing.
Nothing more there that I want to research, and it looks like the Vulcan Research Institute's now finished, so
station complete.
We can build our most powerful ships, and we can
Starship construction
build repair ships. The one thing that kind of struck me about using the special weapon ships is that at least it fills in the gaps somewhat up to the Sovereign class ships. So if I were to maybe rerun this later or play some more of the missions later, I might very well go for some special weapon ships. But given that you can overpower the Borg so easily just using Sovereign class starships in early missions, the reason I moved over to frigates and other ships at this point was mainly just due to the fact that I couldn't possibly withstand another Borg assault without having some ships on the field of battle, and I couldn't afford to wait for Sovereigns. Anyway, we are going to move over to the third expansion point now. It seems like the Borg's attacks against us have died out somewhat, so not really any serious cause for concern at the moment. Watch me eat my words very shortly.
Starship construction commencing.
But let's get building some Sovereign class ships. I realise that I'm not in any position crew wise to be able to spam them out, but I think that once I get a third dilithium refinery down, this means that I can go nuts at that point and just build as many as I want. And let's buy some metal so I can get a 4th starbase down, and that will allow me
Starship
to
complete. Insufficient crew.
Confirmed, Starfleet.
There we go. That will allow me to replenish my crew quite quickly and consider this position that I'm in here defended. At least quite defended, not massively defended.
Research commencing.
You can only defend so much. Okay, so I've got a first fleet here, and I'm going to send them over to the middle branch here, because the next place I want to expand to is to our original entry point into the system.
Diverting power to engines.
Wow, the Aegean captain sounds depressed. In fact, random trivia point, the actor who played the Aegean captain is the same person who played Hugh, the individual Borg in, I believe, the episode I, Borg and Descent. So, random trivia point for you there, but at least it's a throwback.
Complete.
Confirmed, Starfleet.
Let's get mining for metal. And let's get improving stuff as much as possible. I'm concentrating because most of the Federation special ship weapons are based around... There's the Aegean class special weapon, it's the shield regenerator. And as you can see, everyone's in green shields after that being used. The reason that I'm choosing shields above weapons first is that all Federation special weapon ships are pretty much based around defensive tactics. You've got the shield generator, the Corvomite reflector, the pulse defense phaser. So if you add level 3 shields to that, your ships become incredibly difficult to destroy.
A prudent course of action.
And here comes Starbase number 5. I told you I'm not messing around here. This is Starbase, 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 and more Starbases.
Commencing.
Once I purchase the metal necessary.
All work crews report to station.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Please.
Complete. Insufficient crew.
There we go, that's Starbase number 5 going down, right next to 2 Latinum nebulas as well, so we certainly have the... Oh my god, the Borg have decided that they're fed up with us messing around and they're coming for us.
Enemy engaged.
Fortunately, with upgraded weapon systems, what they're sending isn't enough. I should really use this Sovereign class ship to lure the Borg back to the Starbase, but I was hoping the others would be able to warp a little bit closer, but it's lasting fairly... it's lasting a decent amount of time thanks to its advanced shields and the Corvomite reflector, but I think that Sovereign's going to go down, but the battle will be won. Yeah, there it goes. Sad, but we're going to win this battle, and I think that's going to deal the Borg a bit of a blow. And meanwhile, my remaining Sovereigns are going to come down here and open a hole for us in the Borg lines.
Starship complete. Enemy engaged.
As we mentioned, energy torpedo turrets don't do it against the Federation, really. And now with the income that we've got, we can just spam out some Sovereigns, and that's going to be the order of the day, I think.
Aye. We will comply. Aye.
Appears to be a slight sync delay. I do apologise for that, but not a huge amount I can do about that at this point in time. Hopefully it's not causing too much of a problem. There's the shield generator popping off again and again. Just a generally useful thing. And another tactical cube. The
be ready for anything.
Unfortunately, from what I'm seeing here, the nebulas are out of energy, so they've obviously been using it shooting down torpedoes and various other things, but nebulas aren't really much use when they're out of energy. So I think that now that they've got multiple special weapons on them, I really should just leave them to myself, working out what special weapons could be used. The AI makes a bit of a mess out of it, really.
Will do.
But there we go, yet another mining base up and running, and we've got more than enough to be able to
Starship complete.
Cause a complete mess on the Borg side of things now. We've got the advanced shipyard. I'm going to put another advanced shipyard down here. I want a shipyard on the front lines.
Acknowledged.
And the final piece of the puzzle in attacking the Borg is the temporal research facility. And once we get up to 300 crew, that is exactly what I will be using.
That is a logical request.
Thank you. And there we go. That will be the final piece of the puzzle, and then I will attack the Borg head on.
We are sustaining heavy damage from a nebula. We have entered a dangerous nebula.
Oh, it looks like some of my ships have decided to be impatient. Well, that's not going to help me.
Nebula. Starship complete.
I guess that's quite helpful, bagging off a phaser turret, but this is not very helpful at all from my sovereigns. You can take the first step and destroy the assembly matrix, but I'm not sure how much damage that's going to do, and this is really annoying.
Starship construction commencing.
Awaiting orders. Fire when ready.
It looks like they're doing an overall okay job.
Awaiting orders. Give the word. Give the word.
They've managed to clean that front up without me telling them to, which I'd rather they obeyed orders, but
we have entered a dangerous
they decided to take matters into their own hands, apparently. That's why a lot of the time, if you really don't want your ships to move, you have to set them to low movement autonomy. Unfortunately, some of my ships have been stupid and got themselves caught in this radioactive nebula. So, I'm taking a fairly Klingon approach to this. If you're too stupid to stay out of not stay out of a radioactive nebula, then you don't really deserve to live. So therefore I'm going to destroy those ships to get the officers back. There's not very good timing on that shield bubble from the Aegeans, but it is quite cool to get all the shield power back in the middle of a fight.
Starship construction commencing.
Well, we're nearing the officer cap, and we've got a group of Sovies, Galaxies and special weapon ships, and a group exclusively made of Sovies. So, if we're going to do it, the time is now, I think. Double advanced shipyard as well, just for extra value.
Starship complete.
Awaiting orders. Standing by.
And there we go, we now have 2 full fleets, and we're going to launch our attack on the Borg now. There doesn't really appear to be a secondary option here. As long as the Borg don't attack while we're away, I think I should be perfectly fine. This planet's got a hell of a gravity well, so it's quite hard to maneuver in this area.
We have entered a dangerous nebula.
There's always one, isn't there? In this occasion it's the Anzac. And you can see I've got some repair ships following them in. Hopefully they can repair some of the damage that's been done to them, but this should be quite the fun little fight, guys. So I'm going to shut up while it happens. I'm going to set the temporal weapon off and let you enjoy the fireworks.
Temporal distortion detected.
Steady as she goes. Awaiting orders.
Enemy engaged.
Standing by. Standing by. Ready and able. Give the word.
Enemy engaged.
Standing by. Awaiting orders.
Ready phasers and quantum torpedoes.
Awaiting orders. Ready and able. Ready and able. Awaiting orders. Standing by. Give the word. Awaiting orders. Standing by.
Ship at full readiness.
Enemy engaged.
Standing by. Give the word. Standing by. Standing by. Give the word. Give the word.
Yep, 3 Nexi all gone. And the Nebula class ships and the Aegean class ships definitely did a job.
Awaiting orders.
And with all the assemblers down now, there's no way that the Borg can recover from this. And there's the advanced assembly matrix. They've torched one of my galaxies there, but there's still way too much firepower for the Borg to come back from here. So it looks like we have achieved our mission objective.
Standing by.
This is where the Borg were planning for their attack on the Alpha Quadrant, and we've just destroyed everything in the immediate vicinity. So it looks like we are ready to think about heading home now.
Standing by.
Or are we just going to make absolutely 100% sure? Oh, I see, there's an assembler over there building a Nexus. Let's not allow it to do that. Yep, and that is pretty much your lot as far as the Borg are going this mission, but of course that's not going to be the end of the story. It'd be a little bit boring if we were just going to walk out of here now. So, with the Borg staging grounds wiped out, let's see what Picard has to say for us, or what boneheaded thing Starfleet Command have.
We've done what we can here. The Borg staging grounds are destroyed, and the Borg themselves appear to be outmatched. Without the forces to stand our ground, the survival of our fleet is my biggest concern. I want all ships to regroup. We'll set an extraction point near where we entered this sector. We're not out of trouble yet.
Enemy engaged.
What makes me think that something insanely bad is about to happen? Well, let's get my fleet back home and let's get building some more Sovereign class starships. And oh my god.
Starship construction commencing.
For those of you who don't recognise them, that is Species 8472 blasting into this system in force. The Borg would be on their way to meet them, but we appear to have destroyed most of their reinforcements, and oh wow, Species 8472 are going to torch the Borg here.
Starship complete.
Well, I'm going to keep the Sovereign class ships coming out, because what I'm hoping is that they will last long enough against Species 8472 for the starbase to pick a couple of ships off, and that will also allow me to get the remainder of my fleet over here, or what's left of it. Yeah, that's fine, but oh, this is terrible. I'm getting ripped to pieces, and I can't bring the Enterprise over here with this much firepower in the region.
Ready and able.
Starbase is doing a very admirable job though, and here comes the cavalry.
Standing by. Altering course.
Stupid gravity wells, but it looks like I've got away with it.
Starship complete.
Phew. Right, where's the Enterprise?
Status report. Engage.
Let's go, let's go.
Crew.
Before this gets any worse. Well,
Entering coordinates.
we've achieved the objective that we need, and now our only obstacle is getting back to Federation space. So that will be the goal for next time. And I will see you in the next video, guys. Thanks very much for watching.